So I know this game between the Columbus Crew and the Red Bulls have pretty much been over for about 2 hours now. I am only now going to do the review of this game because I had to wait to watch the highlights of what happened in the first half of this game, mainly because I didn't really watch majority of the first half since I had to do the review of that crazy game between Orlando City versus NYCFC early on, which, by the way, if you haven't actually watched the review of that game, I recommend you to watch the review of that game because I still cannot believe how crazy that game ended, and that for those of you that unfortunately didn't get a chance to watch that match, then you definitely missed one of the best MLS playoff match I think you have ever seen, and it's gonna be talked about down the years. Now, in terms of this MLS playoff match, well, it was relatively straightforward for at least 89 minutes of this game, where it looked like Columbus was going to pretty much just comfortably move on into the next round of the Eastern Conference. And then the last couple of minutes, things got a little bit tense for the Columbus Crew, and that the Red Bulls almost did the improbable and potentially could have sent this game into another bonus 30 minutes of soccer and into extra time. Now, in the first half, the Crew had a couple of chances to get the opening goal. Ryan Mayer made an incredible save to deny Zardes, who had a free header in the 16th minute, before he had to make another save, this time tipping Mensah header over on the play that is following up that incredible save that he made on Jarzy Zardes. And it just looked like Columbus was potentially going to be the one that gets the opening goal, but instead that did not happen because Caden Clark happened. He scored the first goal of this game for the Red Bulls to give the Red Bulls a 1-0 lead, and it just had to be the fact that Caden Clark has to get a goal in this game, because this kid who, a couple of months ago, you probably have never heard of this kid, but with the way that he has just been scoring bangers and now scoring his first ever playoff goal in his first ever playoff appearance, my oh my, the hype level and also the hot prospect level has to be with Caden Clark now heading into the offseason. But unfortunately, as good as that moment is for the Red Bulls, their lead barely lasted 2 minutes, because just 2 minutes later, in the 25th minute, Yearwood unfortunately brought down Santos in the box, which gave Columbus a penalty. I thought Yearwood, for majority of this game, did very well, but this was one of the rare mistakes that he made during this game, and it turns out to be a costly one, because it gave Columbus a chance to get the equalizer, which Pedro Santos made no mistake and put that penalty away to tie the game up at 1 apiece. Now, despite the fact that both teams had a couple of chances in the final 20 minutes of the first half, nobody could potentially find that breakthrough second goal, and we had to halftime 1-1 with all to play for in the last 45 minutes. And in the second half, it seemed like the Red Bulls were still in the locker room and didn't really come out in the second half kind of awake and realized that these last 45 minutes could really determine their season, because literally 22 seconds into the second half, Darlington Nagbe would score the go-ahead goal and give the Crew their first lead of the game. And this was before, when there was two other chances where Zairian almost scored a golazo that hits off the post, and then Mura had to make a good save on Etienne near the far post before the inability for the Red Bulls to clear the ball into the box and let the ball kind of just dangling in the box, which Nagbe was able to smash that dangling ball into the box, into the back of the net, to give the Crew a 2-1 lead up to that point. And it was almost 3-1 just a minute later when Etienne almost scored against his former team, but unfortunately his shot from from a tight angle just went a little bit high. Now, Royer did have a chance to tie the game up for the Red Bulls, but his long-range effort just went wide before Columbus would get that insurance third goal and an insurance 2-goal lead when Jarzy Zardes would score a looping header from Etienne and Zairian to make it 3-1 in favor of Columbus, and that goal really killed the soul and the belief of the Red Bulls, because from then on you can definitely see that the Red Bulls were kind of down and out, and it was kind of look more like Columbus was going to be the one that, if whoever scores the next goal, they look like they were going to be the one to get the fourth instead of the Red Bulls potentially getting a second to get back into this game. But if there's one thing that I know from this game, and the note that I write on the board, it usually means the opposite is going to happen. And it happened again, where just as I thought that the Red Bulls were pretty much done, in the 90th minute, Brian White would score from Jared Stroud and Jakowski to make this a 3-2 game. And then in the 3rd minute of stoppage time, Eloy Rome come up big of making a big save on Tom Barlow, who had a golden opportunity to put it in from a close range effort and made this game to 3-3 and pretty much send this into extra time. But unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be, and that unfortunately the Red Bulls just fell short, as Columbus able to just hold on despite the fact that it was kind of getting a little bit hairy at the end with some of the chances that they gave up, and also some of the golden opportunity the Red Bulls had to complete an improbable comeback. Now the shots in this game, 17 shots compared to 14 that the Red Bulls had, 11 shots on goal compared to 4 that the Red Bulls had, 5 shots off target compared to 7 that the Red Bulls had, 1 shot that was blocked compared to 3 that the Red Bulls had, and possession-wise, 47% possession compared to 53% possession. And, you know, even though I know for the Crew, they'll be happy to move on, and they'll probably just ignore the people say that, you know, yes, they won this game, but they need to do a better job in terms of closing out games. I mean, in some way it is kind of true with the way that if they're going to be playing a much stronger team in the playoffs in the second round, which that is most likely going to be the case, they cannot allow these kind of moments where late in the games they would give up a late goal and allow their opponent back in the game, because when you of course decide to do that, or even do it a little bit earlier and allow the team back in the game in the last 10 minutes, then it could be a very, very stressful time, and that opposition could potentially put away another goal to really complete an improbable comeback. And for the Red Bulls, you know, I know it's a disappointing loss, but I think they should be proud of themselves in this game. The fact that, you know, they were always going to be against it coming into this game with a new head coach and a new system that they were trying to use in this game, and fortunately they just, despite the fact that they tried to fight hard to potentially win this game, they just fell a little bit short at the end. But yeah, there you have it. That is pretty much it for this review of this video. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this game? And don't forget, tomorrow it's going to be a relatively busy day for me, because I am going to have to watch all 3 games that is going to be happening in the round of 16 of the playoffs, although 2 of them involve my favorite team. And tomorrow could either be the best day of my time being a MLS fan and being a fan of my 2 favorite team, or it could be the worst day of my life if both of them do suffer a loss. But until then, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys leave a like, smash the subscribe button, and yeah, I of course will see you guys next time.